Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. You're here with your host, Kyle of Windy City Meeples, and I'm here today to bring you guys a special one. In our last video, we broke down and talked about Aeon's End. I went through some turn structures, kind of showed you guys more what that game's all about. But as promised, here is the follow-up video. We're going to do my unboxing here of Aeon's End Outcast. Now, I'm doing this sideways, so we'll see how it goes. First thing you guys need to know is this is a real unboxing. It still has that plastic wrap. I'm going to start down here in the corner, and we'll see what's inside. Probably not, unfortunately, too much I can show you guys today, as with this game has that expedition mode I was talking about. There's that little bit of a story to it. So there's probably going to be a lot of containers that say stop until you're told to proceed and to look. But maybe we'll be able to take a look at some of these starting cards and abilities. And the reason why this wasn't opened already, I did talk when I received this last fall, is I'm trying to be diligent and play through everything until I get to this one. Now, I've done the base game. I've done most of the bosses in War Eternal. We've halfway through Legacy, so I still have the New Age. And once I get through the New Age, I can officially start to play this. So I probably still got a while for it. But with the new Kickstarter version popping up today, or probably within the last week or two by the time this gets online, it's a great time to say, hey, let's take a look and see what's actually in the box. Let's have a quick little overview. Show some of the character boards and stuff here on the back. Again, this is by Indie Card and Boards, with our key designers being Kevin Riley, Nick Little, and Sydney Ellerstein. Sorry if I butchered any of those. But again, I love the work that these guys do, and I'm excited to show you guys kind of what's in here. Again, this is the Kickstarter pledge, so I do believe that some of the expansions are in the box. That's a tight sealed lid. Throw this box over in the corner. All right, so we got our rule book here. It says new rules. If you are familiar with Aeon's End, check out the following. So there's a curse deck, which looks like it's new, simultaneously effects, and wandering. Additionally, at the end of Chapter 1, you unlock a new ally to protect instead of Gravehold. All right, so things are switching up a little bit. And there's an enclosed mat for that ally as well. The back has a little way to solo play, lets you know how to build up this Nemesis deck. So that's one thing I didn't talk about in the last video, was every time you play, you kind of have to set up the bad guy deck, and they have their own section of unique cards, but there are also some basic cards you got to put in there too to even it out. So I'm just going to take a little brief cruise through this. Goes over the turn order, which again I covered in the last video here. Talks about like the discarding of the deck. So pretty straightforward, I think. You know, a rulebook's a rulebook. Yeah, it does look like there's going to be a lot of stop cards. So again, I don't know how much there's going to be to show. Talks about player cards, narrative booklet, which is awesome. It's going to break down that setup and those different cards here. Again, this is just going to go more into depth on the stuff that I mentioned in the last video. So not quite seeing an index, but that being said, all the steps here and the turns are pretty well laid out. The player turn overview, and there's those little player reference cards, I'm sure, here as well that will help us out. So your basic rulebook. I'm really loving the art style for this. This says the end of the expedition rulebook. So the idea, I believe, is you're kind of going to play through the narrative story, but kind of once you're done that, you can kind of mix and match everything with every other Aeon's End and have yourself a huge deck building boss battler game. Yeah, so it talks about how to set up for an expedition, player setup for each game. So just kind of other ways to kind of play it through. So again, artwork, really nice here. Love the way they went with this game. So we have the specific narration booklet. So again, a bit more story tied to this one. Looks like it gives you some backgrounds on the cities and the location. So again, there's no hard rule saying you have to play through these in order. But again, that's just something that I'm trying to do, like Introduction to Battle 2. Again, I'm not going to really flip through this or look. I want to save that. Conclusion of Battle 2, Intro to Battle 3, Intro to Battle 4, and then Conclusion after 4. So there's more to the game after 4, but I believe that that main little start to get the narrative experience is kind of those first 4. One thing with Aeon's End is they include these stop pages. They really walk you through the setup for the first game. They'll have a market for you for the first time you play, and then so many of the starting characters that you can get for the first play, and shows you the villain kind of set up for the first play as well. Okay, we got a pair of ears here that have different abilities. I believe this goes with one of the boss boards. As I mentioned in our previous video, all the bosses will have their own unique characteristics. With the Rageborn, which we looked at in the last video, he had a rage mechanic. It looks like this monster has some tentacle ear things going on that will probably be a special mechanic for that boss. So you have your regular punch board stuff. Again, these have been really nice, and they're thick enough that they're good quality. But again, just in my own world, I like to use dice for this kind of stuff, just for a little bit less mess on the table. So we got some more charge, some more abilities. To pick yourself what player you're going to be, and then probably it looks like some special, unique things that belong to different characters. And we have these mall tokens that look like they fit to that track we showed down here. Right, so I was right. We do have the 2 expansions for this version of the game that they come inside the box where I kickstarted it. That's kind of where you save a little bit of money kickstarting the game. Let's see what else I can see in here. Again, here's all these cards. These are going to be your relics, your spells, your stories, your gems. So we won't open a lot of these. Unfortunately, I'd love to show you guys the stuff, but some of the stuff can be really connected to certain characters. Like this looks like here it belongs to a certain boss. So a lot of these I won't open until instructed to do so. Stuff here at the back has some stop symbols on it. So some of these can be narrative components, some of them can be new spells or relics. It's really cool. It makes the game, the first time you play through it, be a truly unique experience. And then once you're kind of done that, you'll have a lot more kind of freedom to who you're going to play against and who you're going to fight. So again, like I said, there's not much to see in this, but it looks like we probably have some character boards here we can kind of show off. So each version of these come with their own little like health dials for either your community, your person, and the boss. And it's kind of cool. I have a collection of these now, and these dials work really good for a number of things. If you play Magic the Gathering Commander, these could be really nice for your life tracker. My one complaint in the game Primal that's coming up that I'm very excited about, I really wanted them to put a health dial in. But I'm just going to borrow some from this game because I have tons of these now where I own all content from Aeon's End. Just got some more cardboard cutouts here. We got a little map here leading to Gravehold. So maybe this is a boss or an event where you have to beat things before they get to the city. Not exactly sure what this connects with yet, but this looks pretty cool. And very colorful, folds up nice. And I wonder, yeah, it looks like it's tied to the Southern Village expansion here. And it does look like there's maybe fire you're trying to manage. So again, the expansion stuff was just kind of put onto the side here, which is great because it gives us some more to look at. All right, so here we got another board. And again, like I mentioned just with the mall, this other token board, and this one. These are all unique to, I'm assuming, certain bad guys you fight, like this little, oh man, look at that. It's like a little kingdom, abandoned fortress on top of this crab. So I'm sure this is special rules and special conditions that go with fighting that boss. Again, that's what makes this game, every time you play it, yes, it's a deck builder at its core. You're fighting bosses. But it can be so unique in the experiences depending on what the monsters and the bosses do. Or as this game calls it, your nemesis. Alright, so I think we got some player mats here. Some Karna. It looks like she can gain spells for free with her energized charge. And she's got different colors here on her charge symbol, so I'm not sure what that's about yet. So that will be really cool to explore. Otha and Ulamorg. Looks like there's an evil spirit or some nemesis. That's what this guy. I do believe he's another copy. I think the original of this guy had him be like, I think it's called like the Shield Coward or something like that. So that's really cool to kind of see that character kind of grow. And I haven't mentioned this, but there's some good backstory on all these characters, and even the bosses you fight, they'll have their story, really in-depth world building kind of behind this. And they have complexity ratings, so this guy is at a 4. She was at a 4, so I think these are some of the higher ones, being that they're most likely expansion characters. Yes, they're both expansion characters. Both of those characters go to this expansion here, the Return to Gravehold. So now we have more of your enemy tokens. So this guy called the Burrower, the Fortress, which is that crab looking guy, really cool. Some more characters. So I think these are the ones that come with your main game here. You got Wreath. Don't know too much about her or special abilities, but pretty cool art there. Again, she will have her own backstory on the back. Again, art's well done on both sides. Her complexity level is 5. Lucine, this guy might have been one of the Kickstarter characters. No, he belongs to that southern village app. Activate during your casting phase. Open all of your breaches. Prep any number of spells in your hand or open breaches. So this guy can have a major damaging turn here, and allowing you to open those breaches is pretty awesome. So sorry, all 4 of those characters we just went over were from the expansion packs. So we got the boss from the expansion, the Burning Core, and now that's where I believe that fire track kind of comes in. Again, you get a setup and story of the character on the back. Some tokens potentially unique to that encounter. Some unique tokens to the fortress and the shadow shield guy there. Okay. That's the expansion stuff. Here is the base game. I kept saying portal mages in the other overview, and I do apologize. They are called breach mages. So to clarify, that is the proper text. So we have this lady here. We have this fella here. Reminds me of Teferi from Magic the Gathering. And it looks like they have all kind of unique abilities about them. Cal. And another girl here. So these are your 4 mages in the box. I know there's a lot more, but I'm pretty sure, or at least a few more, but I think you have to discover them as you go. So the other thing in here is we have the Experiment 5153, and you get his setup and backstory. This is the first nemesis you'll fight in this box. And this makes more sense because this is where those malls come in. Wow, this boss looks pretty epic. No idea how these work yet, but that's pretty intimidating to have on the table against you. So what else is in here? Well, we have our container of breeches. And again, some of these can sometimes be character specific. We have envelopes. So this is where the game kind of surprises you with some stuff. Do not open until instructed. So these can be other players or other nemesis. And yeah, usually that's what you'll see is either a player board or a nemesis board inside these. Sometimes it could be other stuff. So you'll have this envelope. Assuming by the silhouettes that these are all mages. We got a couple more special breeches here. They belong to Lucine. They have his name right on it. This looks like something we have to fight. A couple more specific breeches. These just belong to those actually expansion characters. They must have just got moved around in the box. They weren't hidden with these envelopes, just kind of the way it worked out. So we got envelope 2B. Envelope 3A. I like games to have some mystery like this. Envelope 3D, B, sorry. This one feels a bit more thicker. So pretty exciting. We got our little dividers to put into this box. I've been trying to put as much as I can in one game, but really you just get to a point where once you own it all, you have to use several boxes. So these are the dividers. And envelope 4 here at the bottom. So I'll be excited to, the last thing at the bottom here is some of these storage baggies, which is nice to save some of your tokens and stuff in when you start to take apart the punch boards. So I gotta have over probably 40 mages now after all the game additions. I'll be excited to give this one a shot. Again, just in my own play style, I do want to kind of play it in order. So I have a few more things to get through before I get to enjoy the goodness of this box. But for anyone that has maybe played this game, or again, like in our other video, if you want to make some comments, what you guys think about Aeon's End. How does this one look compared to the base game stuff we went through in our other video? And I just want to thank you for taking the time to listening to me. Again, I'm kind of nerding out about Aeon's End. It's a really fun game. And with the new Kickstarter that just opened today, I thought, what a great opportunity. Then let's open up this box. So again, you're with Kyle from Windy City Meeples. Have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.